Hi, everyone. Thank you all for being here. First of all, a little explanation. We should have two speakers, but Robert Entacol, founder and CEO at Playtika, couldn't make it on time to be here this morning. Maybe he will join us in a session later on. That's what happens when it's, people running a worldwide conference. But here with me, I have founder and CEO at ironSource, Bar-Zeev, and he's the man that's going to guide us through a journey in the app economy. First, a little detail on ironSource. ironSource went public during this pandemic. In fact, 4 months ago, in June. It had a bunch of acquisitions as a growing strategy. It's headquartered in Israel, in Tel Aviv, and it's a leader in the app economy. So I will begin by asking you, what does it mean when we are saying that this industry, the mobile industry, gaming industry, app economy, just skyrocketed during the pandemic?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. Great to be here. Sorry Robert cannot join us. So look, I think, among many things that happened during COVID, which, for the most part are negative to humanity, I think to the app economy, it was very interesting to see what happened, because if already before that everything was happening in the mobile, right? We spend so many hours a day on our mobile devices, like over 5 hours a day. And most of what we do on our mobile devices, we do within apps, right? Hence what we describe as the app economy. And during the pandemic, everything became even more remote, even more mobile, right? Because we didn't go to the office, we didn't go to schools, we stayed at home. And we're at home where we all know, right, if we have kids, that we spend them in front of screens. So I think for the app economy, for the most part, it boosted. Granted, some areas in the app economy, like gaming in general, I think skyrocket more than other areas, but in general, the app economy became even more important, even more accessible to users, and all of us simply spend more time remotely on mobile devices.
About ironSource, you work with developers and you work with telcos.
Yeah.
So your purpose is to help people that are building apps to make those apps a business. How do you do that?
Correct. So the way we look at the app economy is we're a business platform for the app economy, right? And the way we analyze it, we see two main constituents of the app economy, right? We have the app developers on one hand and the telco operators on the other hand. Both together define what we define as the app economy, because that's how we access. At the end of the day, every mobile device is connected to a telco, and again, everything we do on mobile, we do on apps. So that's how we define the app economy. And we've developed this business platform with one motivation, which is we want content creators. I believe many of them are here with us today. We want them to concentrate on just one thing, which is creating great content, creating great apps. And we, as a platform, help them translate that app that they develop into a scalable, successful business. Because today it's fairly easy, it's much easier than before to create the app, but it is so difficult to make it a successful business. And we're here to help them with that. We want them to concentrate on creating the content and rely on us on all the rest, everything they need to make it a successful business.
For what I know, you are at the same time competing and cooperating with those big guys like Facebook and Google. How do you do that? Are you trying to win a battle with those giants, or you are trying to find your way into those giants?
Yeah, so I think it's a combination of both, right? I think the app economy, one very beautiful, one thing that I really like about it is that there are many different companies out there that both compete with each other and cooperate with each other. Facebook and Google are just two examples of two companies that we indeed are very important partners of ours. We have a lot of collaboration going on, and we also compete. But one of the beautiful things about ironSource, our platform, is that we can cooperate with them while still competing with them, and actually, ironSource as a business platform help content creators, help app developers actually connect very efficiently with the Facebook platform, with the Google platforms, and many others. So I don't think we're out there trying to win in a binary way, right? We are trying to cooperate with everyone so that the app economy can grow and mainly content creators and app developers can prosper.
Okay, so you were growing, and then we went into pandemic. You still, you accelerate your growing process, and then you decided to went public in this June. You choose a model that's much in the spotlight this year. That's SPAC, Special Purpose Acquisition Company.
Yeah.
Why did you choose this model? And when did you decide it was the right time to go public?
Yeah, so look, ironSource has been around for over a decade. We founded the company in 2010. And we've been growing super fast as a private company. But it was clear to us that it was time to go public, mostly because we see ourselves as the market consolidators, and we wanted to grow both organically and non-organically. And for multiple reasons, we thought it was the right time to go public. And the pandemic had little to do with it, per se, but it really was time for us to do that move. And actually, ironSource was very, very much advanced in the, let's call it, the traditional IPO process, very advanced. But then, and you know, we were talking multiple SPACs approach us back then, and we decided to stick with the traditional IPO process. But then we got a phone call from Thoma Bravo, probably the most important software investor out there. I think the biggest and the most important one. And when they call, you take that call. You do answer that phone. And very quickly we understood we have a full, I would say, a full alignment of interest into what is it that we want to create. Thoma Bravo are very well known for building market leader companies, working very much together with management. And so we thought it's the best of both worlds, to go public, but also do it with the right partner that really can help us accelerate growth, mostly in areas around market consolidation, being able to identify the right targets for acquisition, being able to do it right, to do all the post-merger integration right, and they are the best partners we could hope for. So a few months into this process after going public, I'm happy to say it was a very good marriage.
Did it remote, or you went in person talking to people?
So all the IPO process was remote.
Okay.
Also meeting Orlando Bravo, the founding partner of Thoma Bravo, and Robert, one of the other partners in Thoma Bravo, both led the transaction with us, as well as preparing with investment banking, Wall Street, doing the roadshow. Everything was remote, and it goes back to what we said earlier, how important it is to have a very strong, reliable app economy that can help small developers, small game developers publish a game and become world leaders, and tech companies going public. Right? I think it's quite reassuring to see that you know the world, for the most part, can operate even in such restrictions. And I think it says a lot about the app economy and how well it's built today.
But now I'm going to share something that you said in an interview, I think
no.
to Forbes.
Okay.
And you said that 11 years ago, when you founded ironSource, all you wanted to do is survive the day. You dream about building a company that can reach this point. It wasn't until about 6 or 7 months ago, after rejecting an offer to sell the company, that we realized we could really build a big company. When did this tipping point happen, or when did you realize it was happening?
Yeah, so look, when I started the company together with my co-founders, we didn't dream of anything of this size. Right? It was a bootstrap startup. We didn't even raise capital at the time. So yeah, I would say that the main motive of the day was to survive the day and make it until tomorrow. So it's a different state of mind, which, by the way, I really loved, right? Because you go out there every day, you fight, and you are when you're fighting to survive, it shows different angles in your personality and the DNA of the company. And then what happened is, as we started growing, and we grew very fast the early days, and again, we didn't set to, it wasn't like a decision that we're going to build this very big company. It was, again, more of a survival mode. But we started growing very nicely. And what I meant, or what I think I said in that interview, is that surprisingly, after a bit over half a year, 6, 7 months, we got the first offer to sell the company. It was for a very, at the time, a very significant sum for us. It was $18 million when we owned 100% of the company. And eventually we said no to that offer, which still today...
Let me just interrupt you, because I think it's good if you share now the numbers of your IPO. So you had that offer in the beginning, and now?
So yeah, the company went public at a bit over $11 billion.
Okay.
So yeah,
just to have a perspective.
Yeah, it's but no one knew, right? No one knew. Today, it's funny because in retrospect, some people can sound very smart, like they took the right decision at every crossroad. But the truth is that it was very, very random. But anyways, we were lucky, and eventually we said no to that initial offer, and that to me was the point in time where we decided that we're going to build the biggest, most influential company we can ever build in the app economy, and that became our life mission. But it didn't start it that way.
Okay, by now you added a lot of cash into your balance sheet, and you are just shopping. You went shopping because you have already bought several companies, and you still do that. Are you eating your competition, adding new business, or both, or something different?
Yeah, look, so as I said earlier, ironSource, the one very strong, powerful attribute of our company is that we're a platform. We're a business platform that has multiple different solutions. And what we do is we develop additional solutions, constantly adding additional solutions to the platform to better serve the content creators, the app developers, game developers, the telcos. And we do that both organically and non-organically. We develop solutions, and we also acquire companies which we think have very strong solutions that can be integrated within the platform, and by that, scaling the offering. So we've been a fairly acquisitive company. We've done a bunch of those. In the last month, we announced 2 additional transactions. We acquired Tapjoy and Bidalgo. A few months before that, we acquired Luna, another very interesting company helping with everything around creative management, creatives. So yeah, I believe our strategy also going forward is going to be a combination of organic and non-organic growth. And it's not eating competition, or it's about building the platform, having it more robust, adding additional solutions that can better serve the app economy.
How difficult it is for you to run this puzzle, because you have different cultures, different companies in different countries, and you are all together now in the same project, in the same business. How difficult it is for you as a CEO to run all of this?
So I think the most important part on the M&A side, when you're a market consolidator and you go after potential targets to acquire and merge them, I think the one important piece that very often people don't get right is understanding if there is a cultural DNA fit. And a cultural DNA fit is not necessarily different cultures because we're from different countries. I'm from Israel, you're from Portugal. It's, at the end of the day, we're human beings, and we need to make sure that when we look at the right target, that people are motivated by the right things, and that there is a cultural fit. And I think this is something that we've done extremely well at ironSource. Most of the founders and most of the management teams of companies we acquired and merged stayed with us, and I think that's evidently a very good sign that we knew how to identify the right targets. Buying a company is not just doing so by analyzing an Excel spreadsheet or a product due diligence. At the end of the day, behind all of that, there is a group of people that you need to like, and they need to like you for it to stick together.
Because we are in content maker stage, you begin this company was before a developer company. You begin by being developers and having your own apps, and then you realized that something was missing and people need help to build a business out of an app. Did it still help you when you are talking with creators, having that background and knowing what they are going through?
Absolutely. I think when you build a platform when you're building a company with the aim of serving certain constituents, certain clients out there, it really helps if you really understand their needs and their pains, right? Because the fact that we started as content creators, as app developers, software developers, really help us understand what is it that is missing for them to succeed, right? And the fact that we initially were more of a B2C kind of company, and then we pivoted to becoming a B2B company building this platform, understanding the real DNA of content creators, what they need, what's painful for them, is really important to be able to build a robust platform. And when you interact with them and they understand that you understand what they're going through, really makes a difference.
What would you say by now that's the most important thing for someone that is planning to build an app?
I think the most important thing for content creator or for an app developer is to really concentrate on creating a very cool, very strong, very intelligent app, meaning the content itself. And not focus, surely not at the beginning, not focus on the business side of it, but finding the right partners, it can be ironSource, it can be others, to help them grow into that business. Because at the very early stages, really the quality of the content you created really makes a difference. And today, you have plenty of solutions out there to help you do that. Concentrate on creating the content, and then rely on a partnership that should have a very strong alignment of interest with your goals to grow that into a business. So concentrate on great content creation is, to me, the most important thing, surely at the very early days.
Okay, and now about Israel. You are based in Tel Aviv. What makes Israel such a startup nation by now? What's the secret?
So look, yeah, I think Israel is very often called the startup nation, and I think rightly so, but in the last decade, I would say, you can also see that they're not just small startups that would get sold very, very early, but we're building very big, robust companies. I think the general environment in Israel is very favorable for building startups. There is this, I would say, the cultural DNA of an Israeli entrepreneur is very strong in the way that we love competing, we love winning. We have that culture that everyone wants to build a startup, and that's really helpful in the state of mind because there is the narrative. When you talk to people, everyone wants to build something, to create, to invent something. And I think the general environment in Israel, because of the army with the special technology units, because of international investors investing in Israel, local investors investing in Israel, it's like the perfect, I would say, perfect lab to build startups and then later on bigger companies. So it's an ideal environment.
Thank you for joining us. Our 20 minutes are coming to an end. Thank you so much for listening. Hope to see you back in 2022.
Thank you very much.